Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Lovepreet and welcome back to yet another vlog of mine. So this vlog is majorly about I'm just gonna discuss with you guys about teaching assistant course and its qualification and how the level 2, level 3 is gonna work for us in future, since I am doing teaching assistant course. And I think a lot of people have this question in their mind that what are the job opportunities or what field that we can go into after doing or completing this course. So I think a lot of people are still kind of confused, even though I am also confused. But I have tried to research about it. I have tried my best to get into things and get to know more and more and more about this course. So first of all, let's without any further ado, let's just begin with the video about discussing teaching assistant course. So firstly, I just want to give one normal elaboration. Like teaching assistant means when you're under somebody, under a professional working as the assistant. So teaching assistant basically means when you are working for like a professional professor, a professional teacher as an assistant to them. So we have a lot of tasks to do or challenges to perform when we get into this field, for marking the grades, collecting everything, because since we're working with the children, so we need to learn and we need to have that communication skill, because I think communication is also really really important if we are going into this field, because we have to take care of children and we need to have that, at least not we need to have that profound English, normal English level talking. We should know how to talk or how to understand the child, or whatever things to do. So a communication skill is really really important. So I've written my notes, so which is really important. And for to getting into teaching assistant, because that is as a skill we count on. And even if you guys remember, if you guys are doing teaching assistant course, we do have English course too, where we learn vocabs and everything, nouns and adjectives. You guys must have, I think it's one of the first courses that you do when you start doing teaching assistant. That's basically because so you get to know and you get to learn how to have the communication, just for basic etiquettes and basic more performing well. So yeah, and about a lot of people have this level 2, level 3 certification. So I think I'm not really sure, so I just don't want to give any clarification or anything like that. But level 2, I think once we complete a 2-year diploma of teaching assistant, I think, I'm not really sure, I'm not confirming anything yet, because I have done research, but I'm telling you guys as much as I have found out. I was gonna make this video later because I wanted to go with full detail, but I think a lot of people wants to know. And also I also want to know that I was also very confused with certain things about how what are we gonna do, because obviously we are here and we are studying something. Obviously for the future we want to do the same field job. Obviously why wouldn't be, if we are studying something, we want to do that job in that field, for which would be better for us and for our future self too, because we would be doing the job that we already studied and we have a lot of knowledge and experience about. So I think we will get level 2 certification of teaching once we complete our 2-year course, because since our college, personally, they told us in the day of orientation, very first day of the college in the beginning, that teaching assistant course has internships, and internship will be counted as a Canadian experience. So now when you apply for childcare and all those centers, they always one thing, major requirement of there is that they want Canadian experience. You need to handle kids, you need to take care of kids, that kind of experience that they want, that you have worked with kids in Canada. So that is basically what's the major thing, because one of my friend, actually, she almost got into a childcare center, but the only missing point was that she didn't have the Canadian experience that she handled the children or anything like that. So once I think we are done with our internship, we get to, because obviously, when our college is gonna put us into internships, we are gonna be working with real school, real classes where real children is gonna be there. So that would be like, we can call that a training session. So internship is basically where you gain the knowledge, where you gain experience. So that will be added as a Canadian experience, so which would be a very much beneficial thing for us. So that is how we're going to get, I think, level 2 certification. About level 2 certification, I'm not really sure, but I think that is how we're going to get it, because we will be completing our course. So we would be done learning about teaching assistant, because that's the major step. The first step is to learn and to get to know about what teaching assistant is. The second thing is to get the when you get into the internship. So when you really work with the children, when you have that, when you face the real world, when you really see how you deal with the children, how your internships are going, how you will be taught, you will be in the classroom, you will be seeing how everything is going to work, and how you're gonna get indulged into that, how you're gonna manage the children, what they're gonna do, the games that you're gonna make them play, and everything that you have to do will be taught to you, and you will be like facing it in internships, because that's what basically internship means, where you learn and gain knowledge about your profession, and which you're gonna take upon it in the further future. So internship, we are gonna get it as said by a college, so which would be a real Canadian experience. So after, I think, internship, we can apply to childcare centers and teaching assistant jobs. We can apply that because we would be done with our course, so we know what we have studied, and we would be done with the experience too. That is very much required. So we would be done with that. And level 3 is basically what I have searched. I have got the knowledge about level 3. It is basically it is for increasing our skills when you become a more professional trained teacher, like a teacher's assistant. When you become more professional, obviously once you get a level 2, you can get into childcare or anything. So you will be after your internship, after your Canadian experience, you'll get into one of that, and you will eventually learn, and the more you learn, the better you become. So the more learning. And then I think what I have researched is that level 3 has 8 units. So I don't know what those 8 units are. Maybe those are some exam, or maybe some courses that we have to do, so we can get into we can get a level 3. So obviously the higher the level, more the pay would be. So if we talk about basic pay of a teaching assistant job, I think it basically starts with $19 if you're a very ground level, just a beginner. So it's gonna be starting would be $19. I hope I didn't said 9 before. Yeah, anyways, so the starting pay is gonna be $19, and it can go up to 28 and even more. If you're more the professional, more the better, higher the pay, then that keeps going on. And one thing that I want to tell you guys, which is really important for, even if you're going to apply for teaching assistant jobs, you need this. Without this, you cannot even if you apply, you got an interview, they're just gonna tell you that these things are required. So that thing is CPR first aid certificate that you need, because that is even if you apply for, I think CPR first aid certificate is basically normal certificate that everybody should have. I think even if you apply for a lot of other jobs, even if you apply for as a security guard, you need that CPR or for CPR first aid, CPRC, CPR first aid certificate. You guys need it once you're gonna apply for even if you go for security. When I hope maybe people who are doing security jobs, if they're seeing this, you do require, those are certain requirements. And even that CPR certificate is important, so that is basically what you need. And the second thing is you need a vulnerable, wait guys, I'm not able to pronounce, You just need a security check, which is basically police verification that you haven't done any crime in Canada or anything like that, which is very basic. Again, I think that also you do once you, when you, even if you're getting into security guard and any other job, that's what like basic requirement is, you know, when they ask you. So the same requirements are for the teaching assistant, because when you're going to apply these things like CPR first certificate and police verification is really really important, because that's what like two major points are. And rest, I think rest I told you guys. The pay amount, it basically starts from 19 per hour, and it can go up to higher and higher and higher. And according to me, I think teaching assistant, we will get level 2 certificate after we complete our course and we get done with our internship. Because obviously, you know, internship, I would just tell you guys, take full advantage of internships, because that is really important. Don't take it lightly. If you are really really serious about, you know, getting into your field job, if you really want to get into teaching and all that, so don't take this thing lightly, you know. Maybe the college time you guys must be taking lightly, but don't take your internship time very lightly. Don't like miss it. Don't like, you know, be like, oh, it's just an internship, so we don't even have to go, it's not that important. It is really important, because it would be counted as your Canadian experience. So that's what I just want to tell you guys, because if you guys are really really serious about getting into teaching assistant in future and getting into this field, so then I would just suggest you guys, you know, once the co-op starts, once the internship starts, do your best shot, learn everything, like gain all the knowledge that you get once you are in a classroom. Like a internship is where, you know, you'll be put into a real classroom, maybe a real childcare institute with, you know, obviously there's gonna be professional teachers who's gonna be there for with you. So but so just like, you know, when you get it, talk to the teachers, gain knowledge, ask, you know, see how they handle the children, how they are working with, you know, how like they communicate, how they work with children. If, you know, children are being cranky, they're crying or anything, how do they handle it, how do they teach them, how do they explain them, how do they just do a basic communication with the children. Just gain the most out of it. And wherever your internship is, just remember, do your best at that place, so that the person can remember you there. So I would just suggest you, if you guys are really 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 serious about it, don't take internship time lightly, gain everything. Even if you're studying this course, that's why I tell you guys, when you're doing your assignments, just like try to learn something, like not everything, but at least something we can learn. If you can learn everything, that's great, and that's basically great. But if you can learn at least something from it, that would be really really beneficial for you in the future, in the upcoming future, you know. And also, if you're really serious about this field, if you want to get into teaching assistant, if you want this field job, then start working on it. Like and also I think in some, there are some people who don't have, like, even if they have like Indian experience of working with children. So I'm not really sure about whether the Indian experience would work as that, whether you're working with children. But still, you know, if you have like Indian experience too, if you have worked with the children before and you have taught the children, then I would just suggest you to get your CPR first aid certificate and police verification done, and start applying to teaching jobs right now. Because there are a lot of chances that you can get into teaching assistant, educational assistant, if you have Indian experience too. Because basically, once you, if they select your resume, or if they select you, so if you already have the experience, and if you already, you know, have taught children in India, so if you're here in Canada, I would just suggest you to put the whole experience there in your certificate, and get first aid CPR first aid certificate and police verification done. It's just gonna take like 2 weeks. The both of these are just gonna take 2 weeks, so it's not like that big of a deal or anything like that. So CPR first aid certificate and police verification, both of these, I think maximum they're gonna take 2 weeks to, you know, get and to be done. So don't take that, don't think that it's a big thing to do or like very pressurizing thing to do. It's not. So just get both of that, and if you have like Indian experience, still you can apply to teaching assistant or jobs and everything, because experience is something that is really really important if you're gonna, because they want to know whether you have worked with the children or not, because obviously they want people that have worked with the children. So if you have like an Indian experience, I would suggest you to get your first start CPR first aid certificate and get police verification done, and then put that on your resume and start applying for jobs. If you get I'm sure you'll get an interview for it, and then basically interview is the major part where it's on you. Then you have to give your best shot and talk to the person. So rest, it's all upon you. I told you what I knew, and I just wanted to tell you guys, because I think a lot of people wants to know what really is in the teaching assistant and how to really get into it. So even if you have Indian certificate, the two major things are first a CPR first aid certificate and police verification check. These things, just do it. Just make sure you do it. If you don't know about it, if your friend is somewhere working in security, they must have done it, because this is important if you want to become, if you're working as a security guard, then also you need these two. If you're going to be working as teaching assistant, you're going to be needed. And even in like a lot of jobs you're working with, I think these two things are very majorly important. So just get both of these done, and then if you have Indian experience, then start applying. If you have Canadian experience, then go ahead. Like, why are you waiting for? Even if you have Indian experience, start applying to teaching assistant. You will end up into an interview, and they'll basically ask you in the interview that whether you have worked with the children. So if you have worked with the children in India, you can already tell them, because I think experience is everything. Experience is the major thing that they need. So yeah, that was all for today's video, and that was all the knowledge that I knew about teaching assistant that I told you guys. Because yeah, so I just want to say, if you have Indian experience, just get CPR first aid certificate and police verification code. I'm telling you guys again and again, so you guys can remember that these two things are very important. So if you have experience already, then start applying for jobs. If you don't get it, start applying for voluntarily position, where you can work as to gain experience and not to get money. But eventually, if you start as voluntarily, after like, you can do a side job too, and then you can do a volunteer for teaching assistant, and after like 3-4 months, they're gonna take you as like a permanent person, because that's what they do basically. I think a lot of places, if you start as a volunteer, and slowly if you work good, and if you do good, they're gonna make you a permanent like partner of the company or whatever, your institute or whatever you're working with. Or you can do like that, and that is what I'm telling you guys. So you can, and if you really want to get into this, so there's no problem to even do like a volunteer, just to gain that experience. But I think if you end up in an interview, you can end up with the interview with the Indian experience also, because the major thing is you need experience that you have worked with the children before. That is, top 3 major things are: you need experience that you have worked with the children before, CPR first aid certificate, and police verification. These 3 are the only major points that you have to remember and that you have to get it done. So that was all. Now I'm gonna go. Bye bye everybody. Have a good day. Enjoy your life. And that was for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you guys was able to understand what I was about to tell you guys. And do let me know what kind of vlogs you guys want me to make next. This was it for today's vlog. I hope you all understand what I said, and if you have any kind of doubt, just comment down below or ask me on my Instagram. The link will be in the description below, and I'll reply. And if I don't reply, just remember that I don't know about it, but as soon as I get to know about the certain specific information, I'll surely reply to everything. So that was all. Bye bye everybody. Have a good day. Enjoy your life. Be happy, and bye. Have a good day.